Moment. Let's bring in our focus group now, a panel of Republican voters who are trying to decide who they want to support in this election. Was that Rick Santorum's best moment of that debate? David Selig.
Well, I don't think we need Rick Santorum to be an arbiter of what we can speak about. I think what happened here was spirited discourse, and we need more of that.
You liked it. You liked it.
Absolutely, and I would like to preface it by saying I thought Newt Gingrich conducted himself with such distinction and presidential candor that he really wiped the floor with Mitt Romney.
Wow, wow. I'm seeing a disagreement. Tracy Davis.
Well, I do disagree. I think it just got very dirty, and I think that the way that Wolf Blitzer handled it from the very beginning, I think his first question should have been, what's your reaction to the State of the Union? All of the questions in the beginning made that happen. It encouraged this bickering back and forth between the two of them, and I think that Santorum, that was his moment.
In Wolf's defense, he picked up on bickering that had been put out there by the candidates. I mean, he was quick to say, look, you don't want to talk about it tonight, but you put it out there. Same thing with Romney.
But he still, I mean, why not really just go for the big issues first? He kept pushing them.
Go ahead, Tom Borelli.
The whole thing was staged like a boxing match or a football game. First, they introduce all the candidates. I was just missing the cheerleaders. And then the questions go on to bait the infighting. They should have asked about President Obama's State of the Union address.
Is it the questions, though? It's easy to beat up on the moderator. Now you sound like Newt. It's easy to beat up on the moderator, or is it the candidates? Because Rick Santorum was also encouraged to do that, and you heard how he responded to it. Mary Walter.
Well, we have to remember, we're probably a very small number of Americans who are watching every debate. Not most Americans, I don't think, watch every debate. So a lot of Americans don't know about what's going back and forth with Romney and Gingrich because they're not listening to it every time. For me, though, it was like watching two 13-year-old girls fight over a boy. I was just like, enough already. So when Santorum said that, I was like, finally, Rick Santorum woke up, yay. And I really applauded him for that because, like, we talk about something of substance.
Well, and as Republicans, let me ask you that: does anybody feel upset when they see the bloodbath, going on? The candidates really beating up on each other.
Very much.
Or is it helping you make up your mind? Tony Selig.
Well, look, I think if we watch the past debates, Newt did not rise to the top of the pack being this dignified statesman. And now all of a sudden, that's what he's trying to be. It looks a little disingenuous. And Romney's biggest criticism was that he wasn't offensive enough. He wasn't vigorous and aggressive. Now he's showing that. So I don't think we could criticize them because sometimes style, especially against a president like Barack Obama, is as important as substance.
You like Romney. Did you like
I've grown to like Romney. And I have to tell you, last night was the first time I gave Mitt Romney a standing O in my own living room.
Really?
Because I thought he finally stood up to the plate. It kind of was, and I can't believe I admitted that in public. But the truth is, it was about time for him to stand up for himself. Yeah. He's been really, I think, a bit more unfairly attacked, particularly with the
Jay Townsend, how'd you feel about it?
Look, taken as a whole, these debates have been critically important to the process. We've learned a lot about the candidates. I know far more about what these guys are going to do if they sit in the Oval Office than I do from our current president, who still is pretty shy about telling us where he intends to go. So what? There's a little food fight here and there. Does anybody want to revisit the Obama-Clinton contests of 4 years ago?
Which the Democrats believed helped their cause, and the Republicans appeared to agree, since that's why they structured this year's primary contest as long as it has been. They liked that model.
This has supplanted a lot of the paid ads in terms of importance. We've learned more from the debates than we have the advertising.
Now, is there an argument that this debate process is going to help the Republican candidate? Because you mentioned Mitt Romney, who's gotten better. He's gotten a lot more, pointed, at least in his response. Would you feel more comfortable having, the Republican candidate go out against Barack Obama after watching them in this process? Teisha Powell.
Definitely, Megan. We have so much to lose. We cannot afford 4 more years of Obama. So we need somebody who is very strong, and that's what this debate is going to do. I mean, Obama is a very skilled politician. He speaks well. So we need to get the weaknesses out now for the GOP, and we need to get the strength going.
Is there an argument for that? That all these attacks, even the ugly ones, right? Newt on Romney with Bain and Romney now on Newt and Freddie Mac, that will wind up helping the Republican candidate because it's been out there. It's less shocking, once it's out there.
Certainly the process is tedious at this point, and I'm sure the candidates are tired. But in the long run, they're being vetted right now. All the controversial topics are being talked about, whether it's around these personal finances or the speaker's marriages. And this is something that we want to talk about now. It's late January. Get it out of the way. We'll have our nominee by the summer, and we get into some more substantive issues with the president president in October.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable when you hear them getting ugly? Like last night, we saw Didi Benke, we saw the exchange about Romney on, is he anti-immigrant? He really went after Newt on that, for the first time he really went after Newt on that, and they had a spirited back and forth. Does it make you uncomfortable?
No. I'm glad that Mitt Romney had a great debate. It was his best ever. He took it, and people want a fighter, and that's why Newt Gingrich has been doing so well. But last night, Newt Gingrich lost. I mean, Mitt Romney won. He was spirited. He was strong.
David doesn't think he lost.
And I like, no, not at all. No, Mitt Romney definitely won, and people want him to be strong, fight it, and say, hey, I'm a capitalist, I'm a success story, and that is what America is all about. And Rick Santorum's a nice guy, but we're not playing high school tennis. We're at the Olympics. We're there to win the big game, and believe me, Barack Obama's going to bring it in the
Go ahead, Tom.
Conservatives don't only want to beat Obama, they want to pummel him.
Yeah.
And that's why they like people who are spirited and fiery, because they know Obama's destroying the country and conservatives are rallying on that
Spirited and
cause.
fiery, but when it gets personal, I mean, we saw before the Iowa vote, Newt called Mitt a liar, and then Romney has called Mitt some things, and you know, last night wasn't even sure whether it was his ad that was going after Newt, and then Wolf Blitzer proved it was his ad. Are all those little chinks in the armor that the Republican candidates are suffering before they go up against Barack Obama?
Well, I think that it's good. Only, I mean, it's uncomfortable, I think, for Republicans to watch, but it is important because, you know, actually the money issue, now that it's out, it's going to be harder for Obama. Let's say it was Mitt. But also, when I was on, you know, the campaign on Bush sort of reminds me a little bit of Romney, and he was not a good debater.
Bush 41.
Yeah, he was pretty bad about it, so I like the fact that they're getting better. I don't like the little fights, but that's going to happen in the general. So I think Romney improved
Romney
amazingly.
hired a debate coach who we got from Michelle Bachmann.
Yes, he did, and
you see the difference.
And the difference was ridiculous.
You brought up a good point about them getting personal, and it's kind of like, here, we don't get personal. I may dislike your opinion about something, but we never make it personal, and I think they have to be very careful of making it personal. But it's different if Obama does it. It's different. But it's different if Obama does it.
Newt Gingrich, he has brought it. He is wants a strong military. He's a good and loyal friend to Israel, and he wants to abolish capital gains taxes. That's what Americans do.
So with the exception of Ron Paul, this is why I think after 19 debates, to say we haven't talked about issues is a little silly, because we have. And with the exception of Ron Paul, they all generally believe the same things on foreign policy, defense policy, economic policy, and of course, to your point, Tom, something drastically different than Obama is what all these guys represent. But Didi's point's exactly right before. Obama is going to be so much more aggressive, much more financed, stronger, better organized. If these guys can't handle this type of debate now in January, they're not going to be able to hold up against them.
The problem is the audience.
Because Ron Paul is an unorthodox Republican candidate. Has anybody, after watching him in all of these debates, very facile with the facts, seems like it's sincere, you know, when he answers these questions, has anybody been moved toward Ron Paul?
Yes.
Definitely.
Really?
I like him.
He's a great teacher.
In some ways.
Go ahead, Mary.
Wait, I like him, and the men aren't going to understand this, but the women will, because I don't feel like I'm dating him. Because wait.
Tisha's like,
We've all dated that guy who will look you in the eye and tell you what you want to hear in order to get what he wants. And that's Romney and Gingrich. To get my vote, they're going to tell me what I want to hear.
I never
will not do that.
I never think of it that way.
Ron will not do that.
No, Governor Romney, he stands for capitalism, and I think for us to say he's going to tell us what we want, no, he's going to create the jobs that we need. People are losing their homes, and we don't know what the relationship Gingrich had.
Here's my favorite moment of the debate last night, when he asked, Wolf Blitzer asked Ron Paul what he would do if he was on the phone with Castro, and he said, well, I'd ask him why he called.
We're sending the politicians to the moon.
Great job. Great job, panel. Thank you so much, and we're taking your emails on it at kelly@foxnews.com.